Today, we're gonna talk about the 2.2 update and why I think it is terrible and really good at the same time. It will work like this. I'll begin by pointing out something I really don't like about the 2.2, followed by something I genuinely enjoy. So yeah, let's jump right in. The first thing I really wish didn't exist in the 2.2 update is this thing called the reverse trigger. You probably have seen that one portal called Mirror Portal, right? It is basically this orange and ugly and despicable entire game modes portal. And all it does is basically to change the direction that the player is facing. It basically reverses the geometry dash screen, and okay, this already is a terrible thing on its own, right? But now, let's make a trigger that does the same thing, but worse. Once you put this trigger in your level, the player is gonna start going to the opposite direction that it normally goes, creating this ugly and weird and nonsense thing that many people like for some reason. It just looks weird and out of place in general. I just really wish this didn't exist at all. A thing that I really like, on the other hand, is the free fly mode on portals. If you don't know what it is, this option basically makes it so you can get rid of the ground and the ceiling on Geometry Dash game modes, and you can fly freely in whatever mode that you may be in. Honestly, I could see myself using it all the time. It just looks incredible with pretty much any game mode of the game, and it's a thing that has a lot of potential to be great. Even though we could already make something similar to it by spamming a lot of portals, I think it's much more optimal to have an option on the portals that does it for us. Really, a W2.2 feature. A thing that I don't really want to use at all though is the Swing Copter game mode. Yes, I know that a lot of people really like it, but I am not a big fan of it, to be honest. See, RobTop has always been the kind of person to reuse players' ideas on his game. A lot. And of course, for the Swing Copter game mode, it wouldn't be different. As many of you know, this game mode basically reuses this mechanic that you can make using the dual ball game mode and some blue orbs. And honestly, I don't really like it at all. Not only the game mode is really hard to control, but it is just not that fun to play with, unlike the ship and the wave modes for example. And honestly, I wish RobTop did something new instead of just straight up copying homemade game modes done by players of his own game. Keep in mind that it is just my opinion, so feel free to disagree if you want. I think that you cannot disagree with me though is this. The beginning of 2.2 will be absolutely terrible. Since we are just gonna be entering into the new update, it's expected that the creators aren't gonna know how to use the new features, like the camera triggers and zoom triggers properly. So we really should expect a lot of unplayable and not psyched readable levels at first, and it really will be a not fun experience at all. But I do believe that over time, people are gonna learn how to use 2.2 triggers and its mechanics better, but while they don't, we're gonna have not a great time for sure. A thing that I'm personally gonna have a great time with would be the Versus mode. This mode is genuinely incredible. The possibility to play a Geometry Dash level along with your friend at the same time just sounds really fun to me. I'm not completely sure how it is actually gonna work, but it really seems like it has a lot of potential. I just hope RobTop doesn't add an elo system so we don't have the risk of Geometry Dash becoming a League of Legends V2. Let's talk about how intimidating the 2.2 editor is. And that's another thing I don't really like, to be honest. Since RobTop, instead of adding small things and updating the game frequently, decided to make a gigantic update full of completely new and unknown things, most creators are likely to suffer a lot with this new editor. Like, just look at the Particles Objects menu and tell me if you can understand a single thing about it. I don't even know how to use the triggers we currently have in this game. I would never be able to deal with this at all. There are so many random options and things that I don't really understand anything about, and we will inevitably have to learn, that I just feel like putting my brain inside the oven at this point. But even if it will be really intimidating, we can't deny the potential that it will have. Just look at the stuff players can come up with in our current update. There are people who can literally replicate an entire other game just using Geometry Dash current triggers. Just imagine what these people are gonna be capable of making with the 2.2 triggers. We literally have a trigger that makes things bigger and smaller, a trigger that animates things, and even a trigger to zoom in and out the game screen whenever we want. The amount of potential that 2.2 editor has to offer is honestly infinite, and I'm genuinely scared of whatever creators like Blee are gonna be able to make with it. However, one thing that I hope Bleed doesn't use in his levels is the random trigger. If you thought the trigger I talked about in the beginning of the video was bad, just wait to see this one. This trigger basically gives you two options. You can either be a nice person and use it for the good, making non-cancer features and actually making your level more fun and nice to play, or you can just go and make a random 50-50 spike jump that's gonna ruin your entire level. I mean, this trigger ruins the essence of Geometry Dash basically. Instead of having to memorize the last obstacle you died for and getting better at beating a certain level with it, now you have to rely on luck and cheer for Jesus not to make a completely random spike or detail emerge right in front of you and kill you in the most unfair way possible. I swear to gosh, when I first knew about this trigger's existence, I legit felt like doing funny things that I cannot really mention in this video. But something that doesn't need a single change at all is the platformer mode. I know that a lot of people dislike this because it ruins the essence of Geometry Dash, and I honestly understand it. It really is a step towards a completely new direction, and we have no idea what's gonna actually happen once this game mode comes out. It could really be whether a cool new feature for the game or the biggest flop we have ever seen in our entire life. I personally am very optimistic about it. It seems really interesting, and the game modes from Geometry Dash work really well with it. We can also use it to make cool things like speedruns, puzzles, and I don't know, just make some regular nice levels with it. And by the way, this is how an Extreme Demon in platformer mode looks like if you have ever wondered about it. We can use it to create many minigames as well, just like this guy that literally made an entire functional RPG minigame using it. I swear to God, bro, some people are just really crazy at this game. Now, I want to talk about something that I really have divided opinions on, and it is basically the bug fixes that RobTop is gonna do to Geometry Dash when 2.2 comes out. RobTop said he's gonna work through and fix a really good amount of problems and bugs related to this game in general, and on one hand, it is gonna be good for us, because fixing some annoying bugs will really improve our experience as players. On the other hand, RobTop confirmed he's gonna fix some bugs such as the classic robot with the pads one. Also, he's gonna fix the negative scaling thing that Jonathan GD uses in many of his levels, and for it, I just say, why? Why did he decide to fix some things that don't harm anyone and are just iconic at this point? I know that he's gonna fix a lot of annoying bugs and he just wants us to have more fun with this game, but it may be not worth it, who knows. Feel free to share your thoughts about this topic in the comment section in this video, but please be respectful, otherwise I'm not even gonna finish reading it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.